Hello, and welcome back to the Breadwinner Podcast. As you know, this is the show where we talk all things sourdough microbakery business and how we build a business that serves our household and our community without burning out. In today's episode, I'm going to share something that has been working really, really well in my own bakery. It's not a recipe, it's not a product, it's not anything that I bought, but it is a marketing strategy that I feel is maybe something that I haven't heard talked about specifically before. Maybe because it just feels so simple, but I'm seeing it work really well. And it could be one of the most underused tools in our micro bakery toolkit. Before I get into it, I want you to know that the Breadwinner Summit is coming in just about a month. I cannot wait. I am so excited. This is the only online conference, business conference for sourdough micro bakery owners. It is just for us, filled with industry experts, people who actually speak the same language, understand the same struggles. There's no corporate jargon. This is where we're learning from the people that we admire and have gone before us. And it's going to be June 1st and 2nd. It's free to join if you just want to watch the sessions live, but you can upgrade your ticket to the All Access Pass. The early bird pricing, I have gone ahead and extended it for one more week, so it's going to be active until May 7th. You can upgrade your ticket to get lifetime access to the recordings. I really recommend this, not just because I put together the event, but because there is going to be so much wisdom and content jam-packed into these 2 days that to consume it all while the sessions are live would just be really overwhelming. And it's something that you'll want to revisit and take notes on and process on your own time. So investing in the All Access Pass ticket is a really great business investment that will pay off dividends. There's going to also be speaker bonuses and discounts and other advantages to upgrading, but the recordings alone are worth it. So the link is down in the show notes. Go ahead and grab your ticket, and then on the second screen, you'll be invited to upgrade. Do that before May 7th so you can save $30 on your upgraded ticket. And with that, let's get into this episode. And before I start sharing my exact tactic, I want you to think about your favorite local place. Maybe it's a coffee shop, a farm stand, the place that you would go out of your way for. Even if there's another more convenient, cheaper option, grocery store down the street, this is the place where you would drive the extra 10 or 15 minutes. So if you have a place in mind, I want you to think now about why you go back. Be specific. Is it the product? Is it something else? Is it the experience? Is it the quality of the interaction? For most of us, it is not just the product. We may have initially gone because of the product, but you likely go back because you feel known, because you feel like you receive a different level or quality of service, of interaction there than you would for a very similar product somewhere that's more convenient. You're willing to drive further, maybe pay more because it's a more special and more personal interaction. There is a reason why so many movies and TV shows have that local vibe. Like I'm thinking of Gilmore Girls, where you go into Luke's and you're a local, right? He knows your name. There's something about being known, about being a local, where they know your order. And maybe you are a local somewhere where they know you, they ask about your kids. Maybe they just say, good to see you again. And you can tell that they actually mean it. So that is a feeling, someone sees me feeling, that I think is super powerful, probably one of the most powerful things that a small business can offer. And I looked into this. There's actually a real science behind why. So when someone hears their own name, it activates a unique neural response. It's different from hearing any other name, even words that we hear constantly, but hearing their name signals safety and it signals belonging. So the part that matters for us as business owners is that feeling gets associated with the place where it happened. So the brain starts wanting to return there. So it's not a trick, it's not manipulation, it's just how we're wired. We are deeply social creatures and we gravitate towards spaces where we feel known and seen. Now, I didn't start implementing this practice that I'm going to share more about with that specific knowledge in mind. That came about just through a little bit of research preparing for this episode. The tactic that I have been using very heavily and very intentionally now in the bakery is learning people's names. That's where we're headed, and I wanted to tell you more about that. But before that, let's talk a little bit more about being small and why being small really is actually an unfair advantage that we have. So we spend a lot of time in this space, in this podcast, talking about the hard parts of being small. We have limited production. Our margins are tight. We're doing everything ourselves. We're making all the decisions. We have a lot of factors that a really big store is not dealing with. We have a much more limited budget, just limitations that are unique. But being small is not just a limitation, it really is an advantage as well. It's a real one that those large businesses, the grocery stores, can never capture. So the opposite of being huge and having an unlimited budget is, so let's think about the opposite of this. Think about the big grocery store, the sourdough experience that you get there. You grab the packaged loaf off the shelf and you scan it yourself, or you hand it to the cashier who's moving 100 people through the line today. There is no version of that experience where someone remembers your name. It is not those people who care. It's just structural. Their whole system is built for volume and not for connection. So your system gets to be the exact opposite. When someone drives to your house or meets you at your market booth or comes to your pickup spot or to your bakery, you hand them that loaf of bread. That is an inherently personal exchange. That moment belongs to you. And from everything that I have seen from sourdough microbakery owners, the ones building the most consistent, loyal customer bases aren't the ones with the most perfect bread, although the quality of your bread certainly matters, but they're the ones where your customers feel like they are part of something and like they belong. So I have been paying closer attention to this in my own bakery. And the customers who feel the most connected and who keep coming back, the ones who refer their friends, who notice when I have a new product, who show up week after week, these are the ones that I actually know something about. And the more intentional I've been about that, the more I've seen it come back around. So let's get really practical here, because I want you to be able to take something actionable away from this and implement this same strategy for yourself. So here's what this looks like in my bakery and what it could potentially look like in yours. Bottom line is, I am learning people's names. Now, this is not something that comes naturally to me. I honestly really struggle with learning names and faces. So it helps me if I can ask them their name, look at it, especially if they have a pre-order, and see that name, repeat it back to them. And then if I can go a step further and learn something about them, like what brought them in, are they local? If they have kids with them, we chat a little bit, find out their kids' ages. Something like that can help anchor it. And then I often tell them, it's going to take me 3 or 4 times to lock your name in. And so for that, I don't know if it helps, but maybe they're thinking, okay, I've got to show up 3 or 4 more times and then she'll know my name. But then if I know it the second or the third visit, they are blown away and excited. But anyway, that is the very simple strategy. I am learning their names. So it can be really easy to just slip into transaction mode. We are just fulfilling orders. They're coming in, they're picking up. We give them their bag. We say, have a great day, and that's it. But the shift has been deciding and bringing my teammates in on it too, deciding to greet people as personally as possible. So if we know someone, we greet them by name. If we don't know their name, we ask it. If they're brand new, we ask them how they found out, and then we introduce ourselves and ask their name. This is an incredibly unique experience. I don't know that I have really been to other places that give such a personal experience to every customer. Tangent real quick, but I recently had someone leave a Google review, and she said that everyone who entered was greeted like an old friend. And for me, something clicked when I read that, and that captures the way that I want people to feel when they walk in. So even if they are new, there's just their second time through the door, they're being greeted like someone that is welcomed and known and seen and wanted. And I think that is becoming one of our most powerful retention strategies. So that's why I wanted to share it with you here. So for us, this sounds simple. It's if they're new, or if we're not sure if they're new, we say, is this your first time in? Oftentimes they'll say yes. Sometimes they'll say, no, I've been here before. And then we just chat a little bit. How'd you hear about us? What brought you in today? Find out a little bit about them. And then if we have already learned their name but don't remember, it's just, hey, remind me your name. And usually they don't remember mine either. So we're on even ground, and it's a shared connection there. Usually it takes 2 or 3, sometimes 4 reps to get that name locked in, and then when I have it, I can greet them by name. And like I said, I have my assistants working here too, and they are actively also working to learn the names, and it just is helping build this family culture in the bakery. So, I know that most of you are not operating in a brick and mortar. However, you can still use this strategy. If someone's coming and picking up from your porch, learn their name, ask their name, find out a little bit about themselves. Maybe they're picking up pizza crust. Ask them what they like to put on their pizza crust. Who are they serving it to? Maybe they're ordering a lot of bread and you're wondering if they're gifting it. Ask them a couple of questions. Become really personal. It's not awkward unless if you're asking questions that are deeply personal. Don't do that. But get to know them a little bit, make them feel seen and understood, and they are more likely to feel like they're part of a relationship and come on back. If you are meeting them at the farmer's market, you can do the same thing. Just ask them their names. Hey, is this your first time through the booth? Have you tried our sourdough before? Simple questions like that. Just invite conversation, invite connection, and then introduce yourself and catch their name again. It's okay if you don't remember it the first time. If you have to ask again, it really just tells them that you care, that you really want to know them. If you want to take this a step further, you could keep some really simple notes too. You don't need a fancy software for this. You could just have a notes column or even in your pre-order app. I know the Simply Bread app has a place where I can add notes about my customers. And if I wanted to go a little bit further and add something about people as I learn them, like always order cinnamon rolls, prefers their bread a little bit darker, has 3 kids, usually picking up on the way to school drop off, or said my rye bread reminds her of growing up in Germany. Little notes like that, or even like daughter's name is Susie, that can help remind you and jog your memory when they're picking up. Say something like, hey, did your kids enjoy the cinnamon rolls? Or how's the family doing? Or what did you put on the pizza last week? I love asking questions like that. Our customers aren't used to this sort of experience. They are used to being one of many in a transaction. So being remembered, being seen is just part of this grand vision that we have of shifting the way that people are buying food. Because if they start experiencing something exceptional from small food producers, and more small food producers continue to give an exceptional experience over time, hopefully consumers will change their buying patterns from the grocery store to these small food producers who know them. That's the big picture, the long game that we're part of. But also, this is a very active retention strategy for the day-to-day interactions that you're having with your customers. People are so accustomed to being invisible in transactions. So when you actually see them, when you can actually say something like, how was your trip last week? Or if you know that maybe they're sick or husband's sick, how are you feeling? How's your husband feeling? Little things like that go really, really far. One more little phrase change that can have a big impact is the greeting and then the parting greeting too. So instead of, hi, how can I help you? We always say, welcome in. And then if it's someone that we know, it's often good to see you again. That shift is a powerful shift from transactional to relational, changes the tone of the conversation. It's not just here to serve you and move on to the next person, but it's you are not a stranger here. You're known, you're seen, you belong, you're wanted. And if there's time, we will often engage in a conversation. 10 or 15 minutes of chatting with someone and really connecting. Some people really want to share all about why they love sourdough or how it's changed their lives. And it can be so fulfilling, those little conversations. Even if you are introverted like me, I hear you that maybe this feels really exhausting. But believe it or not, this can likely fill your cup in a way that you just will not believe. You do not have to be bubbly or performative. This is not fake interaction. This is not surface small talk. This is just being genuinely present, even for just 30 seconds with a name and a smile and a quick greeting that says, I'm so glad you're here. And then the parting greeting too. When people are leaving, instead of just saying bye or thank you, I say see you next time. I don't know, again, if that works or if it does anything. But in my mind, it's implying that they're coming back. And I'm not going to change that because I think we're bringing them into the family and I want them to feel like they're wanted, like we want them to return. I have not run the numbers super recently to compare returning customers to first-time customers, But we have a lot of returning customers, and we also have a lot of first-time customers who are coming because their friends told them about us. So customers who feel known come back, but they don't just come back. They become your advocates. I feel like I keep telling people, I feel like we have this little army around our community of people just telling their friends about us, and it is helping us slowly and steadily grow. It is so powerful. So this is not a formal, like, leave us a review for us, but just a casual, like, hey, where do you get your bread? When they see it on the friend's counter. Oh, we got it at this great little place that just opened. They're talking about you in a conversational, organic way, and that is the most powerful form of word of mouth marketing that there is. It's the you have to try this bakery, you have to check out this new place, you have to go to this farmer's market booth, or it's really easy, just place an order and pick up from her porch. Think about how you talk about places that you love. You're not leading the conversation with the crumb structure of the bread. You're saying something like, it just feels a little different there. She knows everyone's name. The bread's incredible, but it also just feels personal. It feels homey. It feels comfortable. I feel safe there. So that is what you're building. You're not just building a customer list. Our customer list matters. We need more customers, of course, but we are building a community. This is about so much more than just the bread. So the people who feel personally connected to your bakery, who have a stake in your success, who are excited to try your new offerings, who want their friends to experience you and be known too. They are genuinely rooting for you. And that's the business that sustains. It's not just financially sustainable, but in a way that it feels to run it too. You feel like you can keep showing up for you and for the people who keep coming back. So I will wrap up and leave this with you today. You already have the things that the big box stores don't have, that they can never have. You have proximity. You have the ability to actually know your customers and to let them know that you know them. So that is your unfair advantage. And it's sitting right there in every single pickup. You do not need to feel like you need to know everyone's name at once. Don't start stressing about having to remember everyone. Give yourself permission to have 4 or 5 times before you lock their name in, but work on learning 1 or 2 names every week and using them. You don't need any new marketing strategies for this. You just need intention, learn a name, keep a little note, say good to see you again, welcome back, see you next time, and really mean it. So if you want a little bit of homework this week, here it is. At your next pickup, glance at one name before they arrive, use it, and then after they leave, write down one little thing about them, and then do that with 3 people. And that is all your homework for this week. And I would really love to hear how it goes. So if you try this and want to share, tag me on Instagram, take a screenshot of this episode. Let me know what you experienced when you learned someone's name and you used it. And tag me. I'm Caroline Bauer _sourdough, and I want to hear. I love these stories. They are such a big part of why I do this. And I want you to be able to be connected to your customers in a even deeper way too. As always, thank you for being here. It's an honor to be in your ears on your bake days and on your prep days and on in your drives and your commutes. If you know a baker friend who would benefit from hearing this episode, send it their way so that we can all grow thriving businesses together. As a quick reminder, make sure you grab your Breadwinner Summit ticket. The link is down in the show notes. I will be back soon with another episode, but in the meantime, happy baking.